Welcome back to the Stay Introverted podcast. I am your co-host, Jay Coleman.
And I'm your other co-host, Steph.
And as always, we thank you for joining us on our podcasting journey. Just a couple introverts, shooting the breeze, talking stuff.
Kind of weird that it's just the two of us today.
Yeah, we had a string of 10, 12 guests on the podcast.
I lost count. I can't remember the last time that we did a solo pod. And I guess by solo, more of a duet.
Yeah. Duet. I get it.
Yeah.
But yes.
But it's been a while.
It has. So I'm excited. I'm looking forward to just having the dynamic introverted duo talk.
The original duo.
Exactly.
The OGs.
Yes, OGs, the original gabbers.
I like that. Today we have a fun topic, one of our mutually favorite topics, even though aside from the topic, I feel like we have very different views on the topic itself. We're talking about music, which, to me, right now I'm looking at you, you're wearing a shirt that says silence is my love language.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like for me, music is my love language. Even though I can't sing and I can't play a single instrument and I'm completely tone deaf, listening to music is is my love language to myself.
Okay, I like that.
I just made that up on the spot.
I like it. I like it. I'm not much of a talker myself. I do enjoy music. I don't know how you feel about it, but I kind of look at music as the soundtrack to my life.
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it just feels like everything that I do or kind of everything I feel, there's just music involved with it, even if it's in my own head.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I do things to a internal soundtrack.
I love that.
Things that I do, I work out, I listen to music. When I clean my house, I listen to music. That might just be like an old black thing. I don't know. I'm curious. Hey, let's ask. Do other populations listen to music while they clean a house? I don't know.
Do.
Awesome. Okay, so it does transcend. I like that.
Yeah. I think it's more so than demographics or whatever. I think it just depends on the person because I know I told my mother-in-law once that I dance around while I'm cleaning and she kind of thought that was weird. I was like, okay. So I'm weird, whatever. At least I have fun cleaning.
Yeah, I mean, it's for me, it's interesting because, I am a quiet person. I'm not much of a talker, which is weird because we're on a podcast. But there are several things that I just can't do in complete silence. I can't clean my house in complete silence. I need something to motivate me, kind of get me through. I can't work out in silence. I can't go for a walk in silence. I need something playing in the background.
Interesting. So I was like that for the longest time until this year, actually. Something shifted this year. I think it was probably when I was doing the 75 hard thing. I was really trying to stay focused on my workouts, particularly when I was walking outside. And I was finding that when I was listening to anything, whether it was music or other podcasts or whatever, I was very distracted and I wasn't as present in the moment. But I'm getting back into reintegrating music into everything that I do. But I took a break for a while and it was honestly kind of depressing. So,
oh wow,
yeah. I don't know where I was going with that, other than my life was really sad during the times when I was not listening to music while I was walking.
Well, it sounds like music makes you happy. You're happier. So we need music in our lives, and I think that kind of applies to a lot of folks. Maybe they don't need it, but they definitely like having music in their lives. Personally, I don't.
Absolutely.
I kind of look at people weird when you say like they don't listen to music. Like, what do you mean?
Right. Or when they say that they don't really care about music. I'm like, what the are you good? Like, are you okay? Do you need to
That
talk
too.
to somebody about this?
Yes, not
What
me,
do you
but
mean?
somebody.
Yeah.
Some-
Yeah, not me.
not me, not me. Someone who
um,
cares.
I'm I'm very curious. Like, so I go in phases when it comes to music.
Mhm.
So like the last couple months, I guess, like ever since my parents said that they were gonna take me and my siblings to Vegas for my 30th birthday for the Grateful Dead concert, I went into like a Grateful Dead like fanaticism phase
Okay.
where like all I could listen to and all I wanted to listen to leading up to going to Vegas was the Grateful Dead because it was like I the way that they work is that they never play the same concert twice. So you never know what songs they're gonna play. Like obviously they only have X number of songs, but they never play it in the same order and they never play the same songs on the same weekend. So like if they had a concert Thursday, Friday, Saturday, it was not going to be the same mixture and it probably wasn't going to be the same um any of the same songs they sang the prior 2 3 weekends. So I wanted to know as many songs as possible and I want to know all the words and the chords and whatever so that I could really just enjoy the show.
Okay.
um, but what I was finding was happening was that even though I was going down the rabbit hole of like listening to all these songs that I hadn't listened to a lot previously, when I find a song that like I just love, like for whatever reason, I will listen to that same song 5,000 freaking times in a row and I just don't get tired of it. And so I was texting my brother, like, oh my God, I love this song. Like, oh my God, I haven't really listened to this song in like 10 years, but I'm obsessed with it. And he'd be like, go listen to this one. I'd be like, I can't. I need to listen to this one 500 more times first. He's like, that's so weird. So I'm curious if when you find a song that you like, do you listen to it on repeat or is that just a weird stuff then?
I'm with you. I listen to it hard. Like um, I'm currently the song that I currently have on repeat is "All Right" by Victoria Monet.
Okay.
And the reason I'm becoming more of a fan of her, but I think also I like the song because it's produced by one of my favorite producers. His name is K Tronada. So
Okay.
the two of them got together and made something that I believe is a cool song.
Right.
But I went out for my walk today and I had my music. I probably listened to that song a good 12 times during my
Oh, you're
walk.
making me feel so much better. Oh my God. You're making me feel like a normal person. I love this.
Yeah, I mean, like, what's the point of not playing a song that you like on repeat? Like, you like
Right.
the song. Like, I don't understand. Like, yeah, I listened to it 20 times. I like the song. Like,
I love the song. I
you
want to
know,
know every chord, every word, every part, everything about that song.
exactly. It's like the musical equivalent of watching a Marvel movie over and over, just like finding those little Easter eggs and little things that you
Right.
didn't get the first seven times. You know,
Right.
that's how I look at it. So no, it's not weird. It's weird that you don't have a song that you feel that way about. That's how I look at it. Go find your
Oh,
song, sir.
wow. I
Find
exactly.
find your song and find some joy in your life.
Exactly. Like what's weird about listening to Uncle John's band every single day, 25 times a day for 4 months?
Yeah,
Nothing, sir.
not a
It's a
damn
good
thing.
goddamn song.
A
And
good.
the funny part is they didn't even play it at the show. But it's okay. I still love it. I still listen to it every day.
Listen, let people be happy. If they find something that brings them joy, let them be happy. If they're not committing no crimes, you know, they ain't causing no trouble. Look, you showing somebody that's listening to the same song 50 times, and I'm gonna show you somebody who's not causing any goddamn trouble. Okay,
That is
that's
true.
that's
Although my only argument to that, like just to play devil's advocate,
okay.
is the problem is that when I find a song like that that I like, it could be like 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm walking down the street to like spin class, or you know, it could be 8:30 in the morning. I'm heading to work. I'm singing out loud, and I am tone deaf as it gets. Like nobody should ever hear me sing. I will break their eardrums. So I do worry that in my pursuit of happiness, aka singing the song that I love on repeat, I could be damaging people's eardrums beyond repair. And as somebody with bad hearing, I feel bad about that, but not bad enough that I'm going to stop singing.
There you go. Yeah, yeah. I don't get into the singing part too much, but I totally understand. I mean, again, you find a song you like, enjoy it. I will say, when I was growing up, there was, I don't know if you've heard of this group called Belle Biv DeVoe. Used to be part of
Hmm.
New Edition, so they broke off, became their own group. Um, they came out with a song called Poison, which I loved.
Hmm.
Um, Looking back, it probably wasn't appropriate for a 5-year-old kid, but hey, times times were different in the '90s, so he was just
I feel like things were a
living
lot
free.
less, yeah, things were a
There
lot
was
less vulgar.
I don't know if they were less vocal. Because I just think we were less sensitized. And I also I don't know. I feel, at least for me, we just kind of had that understanding that hey, this isn't real. Like we're not going to call this real woman
Right.
a bitch or a hoe. Like we're not, you know. I can watch Power Rangers and not try to go up somebody's head with a hammer. Like I just feel like today's kids are much more, easily influenced and
Desensitized, yeah.
yeah, and just easily influenced and easily just, I don't know, corrupted in a really bad way. Like
Hmm.
like, we grew up on like RoboCop and Rambo and Freddy Krueger, and we turned
Hmm.
out fine.
Right.
I don't know what happened, but I digress. So so I had this Belly of the Devil tape that I played hard every day, and then one day it kind of disappeared. And asked my
Mm.
mom what happened to my tape. I don't know. I'm like, okay. I looked up and down for that tape for years, couldn't find it. I was in like middle school, and I just happened to find it in like my mom's collection of tapes. She don't know how it got there. This woman got tired of me playing this song every day and took my tape. Okay,
That's
that's
terrible.
it's terrible. And to this day denies it. I see
Oh
you,
my
mom.
god.
I see you.
Does she listen to the podcast? Because
She listens.
she listens. Okay.
Yes,
Well,
I'm
Jay's
talking to you.
mama,
I'm talking to you, Linda.
Linda.
Yeah, there were a couple tapes that walked away. So there's the Bill, Tevin Campbell, and then just popped up when I was older. Go figure.
Oh my god. Oh, they popped up. They're back. I was about to ask her for the tape back, but
Yeah,
you
yeah,
got him
they
back.
popped up once he moved over to CDs. The
Damn.
technology went out the window.
That's pretty wild. It's kind of like
It
the tooth
is.
fairy.
Yes, yeah, just in reverse. I don't like it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's true. That's funny. um. Wow. So I'm curious, do you listen to the same like music, or have you always listened to the same type of music since you were a kid? Like has it evolved?
It's definitely evolved. It's interesting, because I'm definitely influenced by the music that my mom played when
Mm-hmm.
she was raising me. Um, at the same and at the same time, once early '90s kind of came along, definitely started finding my own tastes and likes. I was
Right.
they went primarily into hip hop and R&B. I'm much more of an R&B fan than I am a hip hop fan, and again, that's
Mm-hmm.
me. meaning due to my mom. She grew up on old school R&B and jazz, which I loved.
Right.
That was always playing in my house. So I'm probably
Oh, how cool.
yeah, like I'm on any given day, I'm probably going to be playing something that was playing before I was born.
Right.
And that's just kind of how I like my music. But I've always kind of had an interest in seeing what else is out there. Um,
Right.
not just across genres, but within genres. So I like
Mhm.
hip hop, but I'm I'm from New York, but I like hearing West Coast hip hop and hip hop from the South and hip hop
Right.
From Great Britain and other countries. Same thing with R&B. I am a big fan of a lot of artists from Great Britain, like Craig David,
Right.
LMA is
Oh, how
someone I
cool.
enjoy. Joss Stone, just so many artists that weren't born here. Haven't gotten too much into rock, but there are definitely songs that I do enjoy. Because again, I like I like people that play real instruments. So I'm always going to listen to someone that can play instruments. I love the guitar, I love the piano, I love
Right.
saxophone. So I have a whole bunch of jazz albums, but it's it kind of depends on how I feel. Like
Right.
I may listen to an album that's 20, 30 years old, or I may just go down a YouTube rabbit hole and listen to like what's going on in hip hop or in R&B today. I
Right.
think I'm considering like starting making playlists for myself on YouTube because like right now I think I've trained it to play like Jodeci and Total every time I open up the page. I will say I'm kind of having uh, a moment, I think, with hip hop in the
Mhm.
sense that there are some songs that I feel like I don't know if I should be listening to them in the sense that there are a lot of songs that were produced or involve Diddy and with
Okay.
all his shenanigans, we'll say it kind of sucks
Mm.
because one of the things that bothered people and me is that you have a he makes dope songs, but it's like he's all over the damn song, and that was one of the and
Yeah.
I don't know, and that's one of the things that always bothered me. It's like shut the fuck up, like I didn't like
Right.
I didn't come to see you. I can't I want to hear this group, so it was like there are
Right.
several songs that I love, and I'm like I don't know if I can hear it now because this fool was talking on the track, but it's a dope
Okay.
song. So I'm kind of
Hmm.
having that moment with
Interesting.
some of the songs. Same thing with like Chris Brown. Like I just you know
So it's interesting that you say that. I'm a big proponent, and this is probably going to get me canceled, but whatever. Separate the art from the artist. I think, like, I can still listen to, and this is, like I said, going to get me hate, but I can still listen to R. Kelly, and it doesn't bother me. Yes, he's a piece of shit,
hmm,
but the music is good. So I'm not going to punish myself by not listening to the song just because the creator is an asshole. And that's kind of a hot take, but I feel the same way about movies and TV shows. And there are a lot of assholes in Hollywood and like wherever else, people go to make music and whatever. And it's unfortunate that sometimes some of the most talented people are also pieces of shit in their personal life. But for me, I live under a rock, and so I live under a rock with good music. And if the person that created the good music happens to be a dick, well, sorry, you know. Like, am I gonna publicly post a picture of myself or a reel with like an R. Kelly song? No. But in the privacy of my home, if I feel like bopping out to I'm the world's greatest, then I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, I can understand that. And it's for me. It's definitely a challenge. What I'll say in R. Kelly's case, it's easy because I'm just not. I don't think I've ever really been a fan of him, so it's easier for me to not listen to his stuff. But yeah, I mean, there are unfortunately a large number of less than perfect artists, and that's plenty of time.
Right, in every industry, like every single genre too. Like
You
that
know,
was just the
that's
first example that came to mind.
yeah, it's definitely a good example. And I mean, and it kind of raises the question, as far as separating the art from the artist. Where do you draw the line? Because if you're going to do it, you have to be consistent, and
Exactly.
it's hard because there's for a good example, a lot of people who um, would not listen to R. Kelly or would not patronize his music. How do you feel about Prince?
Right.
Like how do how do you feel about Chris Brown? How do you feel about Michael Jackson and his accusations? How do you feel
Right.
about Elvis and some of the things that he's been accused of? It's like, where is that line? Is it generational? Like I don't know. It's very very hard, and you know we keep
Right. There's the true to limitations. Like
yeah.
does
There's
their history die with them?
I don't I don't know. It's we're living in an age where you have more and more information at your fingertips, and a lot of the stuff that happened wasn't, again, it was not that it didn't happen, but it was like people, the information wasn't as widespread because we didn't have the internet. Now we have the
Hmm.
internet, so you're able to find out, oh yeah, this artist was running after little girls, or this artist was beating women. How do you reconcile that? I don't know. To your point, am I
Right.
am I going to make a post, or am I going to necessarily go to a concert for this person? No. Uh,
Yeah. Exactly.
if a song comes on the radio and I happen to like the song, am I going to turn the radio off? I don't know. Um, probably not. Again, depending on, it's one of those things you have to, like, what do you do? But yeah, it's very, to me, it's very hard to do because you have to be consistent, and
Right.
there's some people do it, and
Right.
hats off to them. But yeah, there's a couple of older Chris Brown songs that I rock with. Um, I don't listen to any of his new shit because I'm not really that much of a fan of it. But
Right.
there's Run It. I'm I listen to that at least once a week. Um, I don't
Wait,
know.
which song?
Run It, when that
I
thing.
knew you were gonna say that. I don't
Yeah,
know why. 'Cause that was the one that was playing in my head for some
yeah,
reason.
like yeah, when you first came out. Um, I will say I'm not, again. It's in some ways it's easy for me because some of the, I guess, assholes of the moment. um,
Hmm.
I like that phrase. Asshole of the moment. Um,
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of anyway. Like I'm not that much of a fan of R. Kelly. I'm not that much of a fan of Kanye West. So it's like, okay, I don't
Right.
this shit anyway.
Right. Like I find myself listening to some Kanye songs like sometimes, and I'm like, pretty good song. Like I'm supposed to hate him, but I like the
Like,
song.
talented, like yeah. It's like, how do you reconcile that? It's like, damn, this is a good song. I wish he wasn't such an asshole. Like,
I just pretend. I've never really been big on like no like unless it's like a very specific artist. Like I often don't even know who is the artist behind the song. So like I'll be listening to something and I like know every freaking word, and then I'll be like, wait, who sings that again? And I'll look and I'm like, oh shit, that's like uh this person. Like that's a Britney Spears song, and I totally thought I was listening to like Jessica Simpson. Like I don't fucking know.
yeah,
Um,
that's a good point. Is it just the songs that they perform, or if they wrote a song for another artist?
right.
How do you, like, what do you do? What do you do? Like, I don't know what the
Right.
rules are. I don't know what the rules are.
And then, but to that point too, it's like, okay, well, you could probably argue that practically every artist has done some pretty shitty things. Some of them just haven't been like punished according to the court of public opinion. Like Jay-Z has a pretty bad track record, but nobody's really cared about it. For example, Eminem is another one who's still in the public eye. He's a piece of shit, but again, nothing. He hasn't gone through like the legal system really, and like nothing really has happened that like he's been canceled. Um, and then even like in the rock industry, like I feel like I'm trying to think. A lot of them are dead that I'm thinking of, so it's probably not even relevant. But like Roger Waters, who's like the frontman of Pink Floyd, absolutely hates Israel. Okay, still like your fucking music, bro. That's all right. I have a feeling the Grateful Dead, if I look into their opinions about the whole like Israel stuff, they probably hate Israel too. Whatever. Your music is freaking good. Like like I guess my point is like just because I have an opinion about something doesn't mean that the artist has to have the same opinion. I don't really care. I just want to hear your music.
Fair. Yeah.
So,
Again, I just don't. I don't. It's not always clear. I guess I just say where that line is and who we're applying it to.
right.
How what are the cases? Like how far back are we going? I'm sure you can find go back 10, 20, 30, 40 years. Like I said, you can find something that someone did that
Exactly.
may have been acceptable or at least just wasn't talked about or overlooked. And now
Right.
with a more mature society, it's probably looked upon like, hey, no, that actually wasn't all right. Like you said, Jay Z sold drugs. He's a billionaire now.
Cheated on his beautiful wife.
Yeah, like that. Yeah, but because I guess you know,
Bruno Mars, another example.
oh, what did he do? I mean, what Bruno do?
He had all this like shit with drugs. I feel like, um, actually, this is kind of a funny story. I remember when I was 16, I idolized the guy, idolized him, and like, I was kind of a weirdo as a teenager. I still am a weirdo, but I wrote him a letter that I was disappointed in him for doing drugs. And I
Hmm,
was 16. I don't think I ever mailed it, but um I let him know, and I don't think he ever got it because, from
that
what I understand, he continued to do his thing.
okay. See, I was not aware of that. The druggy
But
story
yeah,
or the letter. So
or the letter.
or
Yeah, it's kind of
the
embarrassing.
letter.
um, but I just think like I don't know. It's kind of the same thing. Like as I guess I mean, there's degrees of like what did you do that like people hate you.
Mhm.
And like, is it like a forgivable thing? Like what R. Kelly did, not really forgivable. I don't know where I was going with that. Clearly, I have no standards if I'm still listening to his songs.
Yeah, well, I guess let me try to pick it up. Yeah, I think there are degrees as
Hmm.
to what people do or did. Time, I guess,
Yeah, time
might
heals.
time. Um, Accountability, I think, is a big thing. Like going back to R. Kelly, he's always maintained his innocence. There doesn't seem to be any accountability, even though there's a lot of evidence that would suggest otherwise. So I think I think that comes into play.
Yeah, true.
Jay Z has never run from the run from his past as far as selling drugs. I don't know if he's ever apologized, but he's never actually run from it. But even
Right.
that, like to what degree are we requiring accountability? Um, I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. And plus, what's egregious for me might not be egregious for someone else. Like for me,
Right.
putting your hands on anyone, in particularly women,
Hmm.
for me that's a pretty big red flag. Other
Yeah.
other people, men and women, feel differently.
Right.
I don't know. Is it worth having an argument with them? I don't think so. I don't know. It's like I said. It's where do you draw this line,
Yeah.
and how do you remain consistent? Because, like you said, if you look hard enough, you can find fault with just about anyone.
Yeah. And it's really frustrating. I mean, if you ever watch it's tough sometimes to watch some of the biopics about like various bands.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Queen one I watched because I love the music, but they lived a pretty crazy lifestyle. Like same as Motley Crue. And it's like, okay, like if you watch all the various biopics, those are just the first two that came to mind. The Doors one was really good. If you watch all of them, there's some pretty fucked up things that all the band members did, but I still like the music. And in theory, the movie is probably in many ways like a fucked up celebration of their story because you're putting all their music in. So it's not like you're really condemning them by making the movie. It's not really an expose if you're making the movie with their music.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I didn't walk away from those movies like I'm never going to listen to The Doors again or I'm never going to listen to Queen again. I walked away and probably listened to all those songs 500 times because I couldn't get enough.
Yeah. And then another, I guess, twist. Not just forget about the the extracurricular activities. We'll call them. Um, what about the music itself? Like, what about some of these lyrics? Like I said before, I'm a big Bell Biv DeVoe fan, but they got a song called "Do Me," and on one of the verses, they talk about backstage underage.
Oh,
Yeah, and
oh, that's pretty
you,
bad.
yeah, 6-year-old Jay just went right over my head. Um, went past my mom because she again bought the tape.
Yeah,
Okay, but 40-year-old Jay hearing that like, wait a minute now, hold on,
right.
backstage underage with who, sir? What are you doing? Because again, the name of the song is "Do Me." What we doing?
Right.
What we doing with this
Yeah.
backstage underage? Excuse me. So it's like, where do you? So it's like again, where do you draw this line? Are we now going to go through like there? I forget his name, but there is a creator on TikTok who his entire platform is actually reviewing the lyrics of songs and pointing out
Wow.
these questionable lyrics. And he's like,
That sounds like
yeah,
a really depressing job, honestly.
I don't know. It's funny as hell because, like, damn, I rock with the song, and he's talking about what? She's how
Right.
old? You smoke
Right.
what? It's just like it's
That
weird.
is pretty funny.
Yeah, but it's like, okay, are we now going to crack open up these books of lyrics and start
Right.
testing people because we were 10 years old listening to the song, but now that we're
Hmm.
30, 40, or 50, it's not a problem. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know where that line is.
What I love about the Grateful Dead in particular, which has been my like um music choice for the last six some odd months or whatever, is I don't understand what the fuck they're talking about in half of their songs. Benefit of listening to a psychedelic rock band is they are. I'm like, okay, you know what? I don't know what you're talking about. It can't offend me. I'm just gonna sing it and hope I'm not offending anybody as I sing, and life is good. Like the problem with a lot of current pop music or music that's on the Billboard Top 100 is it's very simplistic. You can very clearly infer what they're talking about. It's like not written to be poetic or not written to be like left up to interpretation for the most part. It's like very straightforward. So you can't really a lot of like Z100 like top 100 Billboard chart music whatever
Mhm.
they're aiming to have the lyrics understood, whereas like a lot of older music tends to be a little bit more um you you kind of have to pick it apart. So I figure if I don't pick it apart, then I can just sing it and I'm okay and nobody's gonna hold me accountable to know what it means because I genuinely don't. Ignorance is bliss is my point.
Sure. Yeah, fair enough. Again, like if we're going to pick apart a song or a genre or an artist, are you going to do it for everyone?
Right,
We can't
exactly.
just
You
pick
can't
and
cherry pick.
choose. Yeah, can't cherry pick. You know, you can't just be well. I'm a hip hop fan, so I'm gonna just I'm just talking about hip hop, or I'm gonna talk about everybody except hip hop. Like it doesn't work like that.
Right. Right, and if you pick apart every lyric, like you said, you have to pick apart. If you pick apart any lyric in the genre, then you have to like kind of hold them all to the same standard. And if you pick them all apart, you're going to be like left with nothing. So what are you supposed to do?
Yeah,
Live in silence over that music? I don't think so.
I don't know. I don't know. And then you know, who's out here making these standards? I don't know if I trust everybody to come up with certain
Yeah.
with standards. Like, I don't know,
I'm gonna get us in trouble with this episode. Like this like
probably.
I'm not supposed to like it's supposed to be about an innocent topic about music. And all I'm
Here's
saying is
here's Steph with this napalm just.
yeah, all I'm saying is I just I'm here for the beats. I don't care about the artist really. I don't really care about the story they're trying to tell. I'm just here for good beats. And
All right.
if that offends you, sorry.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, like I said, I would say keep us out of jail. So like we're not taking any sort of prison chances. So I think that's good.
right.
You
Okay.
know,
Well, I mean, you can't send me to prison for listening to a song now, can you?
uh, not in this country, thankfully.
I'm not writing the lyrics. I'm not doing the shit. I'm just listening to the music.
Yeah. So,
But you know what?
but
I will say, if you guys, before you cancel me, ask yourself, is every single artist that you're listening to, like, the greatest human on the earth? Are they perfect? Have they never done anything bad? Are all their lyrics completely kosher?
Mhm.
Is every action they've ever taken completely kosher? Probably not. Don't
I'm
come at
looking
me
at
then.
I'm looking at you, Justin Timberlake fans.
Right, like I still listen to his music. It's been
Mm,
terrible, probably, but like he's like, oh, that's actually a good point. I should probably stop using "Can't Stop This Feeling" on my stories.
I
But
don't
it's
know.
still an option, so I guess it's not that bad. It still pops up as like a popular song, so like that's a great point, right?
Fair. All right, let's move away from being canceled. Let's try to.
I'm like addicted to it. What's wrong with me? I'm gonna shut up.
I don't know. This thrill seeking behavior is very unintrovert like. It's
I know. What's wrong with me?
I don't know, but I have a question for you. What I guess either a genre or artist do you listen to that people wouldn't expect you to listen to?
Okay. So I've been talking obviously a lot about like the Grateful Dead, which is like psychedelic rock. So most people would expect me to also listen to like classic rock too, like that kind of is a clear connection.
Hmm.
But I also love house music, like deep house and techno. Um, and what's interesting is a lot of people that I know that are into like deep house, techno, and like the EDM genre also love psychedelic rock, classic rock, etc. There's no correlation that I can figure out except maybe like I don't really know. The same they draw similar crowds, but I can't figure out why.
Hmm.
So a lot of people who don't listen to either or are usually surprised, but I've met many people that listen to both.
Okay.
So it's interesting. And then I also randomly love like Ed Sheeran. Can't tell you why, but he's just talented and he sounds like an angel.
Nice.
What about you?
So for me, it's two things. One, I guess, one is controversial. One is not controversial. So the
Okay.
non controversial will probably be jazz. A lot of people
Okay.
don't.
Well, that kind of follows that, like R&B, jazz, like
I would think so, but I guess people. I think a lot of people have a certain idea of what they think jazz is, and
right, like they're thinking like 1920s, like saxophones and shit.
for yeah, or just a bunch of instrumentals and
Right.
jazz. And like I did kind of not a documentary, but kind of a long ass report on like the history of jazz and just the different
Okay.
versions that it's taken on throughout the years. Like it's interesting. Like there are just so many different forms of jazz that again I don't think people even begin to scratch the surface like when they say jazz. So
Right.
I'm a big jazz fan. One of the reasons that I like A Tribe Called Quest, the hip hop group, because they incorporated elements of jazz in their music. So I've always been a fan of that. My jazz collection is probably as big as my my R&B collection, but I do talk about R&B a lot. So I don't really
Mm-hmm.
talk about jazz. So people may not know that. Yeah, I listen to jazz. The second, which is weird to me, is like artists who are not black. For some reason, people don't think that I listen to non-black artists, and
Because that's almost like
I don't
I
get
have
it.
I
Like
have a
people,
problem with the fact that
like,
people think that's
like
weird.
it's it is so weird, and again, I think part of it is what they think a genre is, and what they and who they think is in that genre. Like I can name a bunch of white hip hop artists. I can name a bunch of white R&B artists that I love, and that
Right.
like I can name artists from different countries who I love. Like I mentioned Josh Stone. I love her.
That's
Craig,
insane.
Craig David, who I think is very well. He's British, not necessarily not black, but he's one of my favorite artists. An artist I think is very underrated.
Right.
But but it's interesting because again, then it just goes to people look at you and assume a certain thing. But I'm like, no, I like what I like, but my tastes are also very much diversified because
Right.
music it transcends. Like a good song is a good song, a good beat is a good beat, a good voice is a good
Right.
voice. It doesn't matter
Thank
the
you. Yes.
package. It
Exactly.
doesn't
Yeah.
matter what that person looks like. Like
That's
and
crazy.
it's not just me. You go to any cookout, you gonna hear some Tina Marie. All right, black people love some Tina
Right.
Marie. like, it's funny. It's a funny story. There's this artist named Bobby Caldwell.
Mm-hmm.
And one of his songs is what you want to do for love. Love that song. I found out that I think when he first came out, they because black people love the song, and I think everyone thought that he was a black artist, and I
Mm-hmm.
think the record label kind of caught wind of that, and like they didn't want to let people know that he was white, And then like people
Oh,
found it,
okay.
yeah. And like people found out he was white. And they're like, what?
That's
And
wild.
and they continue to rock out to that song. Like it doesn't matter.
Right.
It doesn't matter. It does not matter. If you can
That's so
sing, you
funny.
can sing. It's interesting. Because yeah, I sometimes I again I'm not perfect. I find myself falling in the same trap, and like you think this person is something that you see, and I'm like, oh snap, but then
Right.
it's like, yeah, that's a dope ass song. So
Who cares?
yeah,
Like that was
those
kind of the point I was making earlier. Who cares who makes it? If a good voice is a good like who cares? That's
yeah,
crazy. I mean,
it
just
really
you're
is.
talking like I'm thinking like my favorite deep house artist ever, like the one that I listen to the most is Blackbeard, and like you wouldn't normally picture like deep house artist to be a black guy, but I love him. Jamie Jones, he's phenomenal. I've seen
Mhm.
him probably eight, 9 times, and it's never enough.
Yeah. And I'll say this is when I mention people who don't think I listen to non-black artists, it's not just white people. I want to point that out. Like there are a lot of people who I grew up with, black people who felt the same way. Like because like they've never heard of these
Right.
artists that I listen to. So I'm like, dude, you need to get some culture in your life.
Yeah.
Like you need like so again, it's not just one group of people that feels this
Right.
way. It's so I want to make that clear. I tell
Okay.
I've told folks, listen, you need to listen to more than Hot 97. Okay, you need to listen to more. You need to listen to more than 105.1. Like there is the entire world of music that you are not hearing because you think that Jay Z and Lil Uzi Vert are like like the crown jewels, and they're not.
That's funny.
It's like you need to get some culture in your life, and all culture don't look like you and I. It's is more. That's what makes music great. Is that so many different people from so many different backgrounds can come together and make
Yeah.
something that sounds so dope. Like I don't every song can be about taking drugs and shooting people. It just it can't. It's like especially if you've never grown up that way. I didn't grow up that way.
Right.
So
Right. It
what?
needs to resonate with the listeners. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, why the hell am I gonna listen? Why are all my albums gonna be about this thing that I've never experienced? It makes no sense.
Right. Like I don't know about you, but sometimes when especially when I was younger and I struggled to articulate, and I struggled to like say what I was feeling, like pre me having any kind of relationship with my emotion, I relied on lyrics to help me say what I was trying to say. Like obviously I wasn't gonna like start like spouting off poetry
Mm-hmm.
in lieu of having a conversation, but sometimes I would go listen to a song that was able to clearly articulate exactly what it was that I was feeling that I didn't have the words for. And that helped me to communicate in thousands of different situations that I struggled to get my point and my feelings across because it would unlock me a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And so if I was only listening to like let's say I was like into country, which is it's kind of a new thing for me. Am I gonna go listen to a song about milking the cows when I'm upset about like, something to do with work? No, because that's not my life. I need a song that is going to help me say what I'm trying to say. And yeah, it could be country. It could be a country song that was going to give me those words, but I'm not specifically going to go for the country singer that is singing about his farm because that doesn't relate to what I'm feeling.
Yeah,
So,
I'm with you 1,000%. Like I said, I do listen to music. Um, was two things. Like I definitely um, understand about not being able to articulate how you're feeling and just finding that one song that just this is it. This is like I couldn't put
right.
put it into words, but Boyz II Men did. So this is
Right.
this is a song. Um, and then also, I listen to or I select a lot of my music based on mood. Um,
Hmm.
I don't know. I'm curious, if you if you're the same way. Depending on how I'm feeling or what I'm going through, I may put on a certain song or a certain set of songs to kind of just get me through whatever it is I'm feeling.
Oh yeah, I have mood playlists for sure. Um,
You
and there are certain songs that I have no idea why they put me in a better mood. Like sometimes it's just the beat. Like there's this one song by I think it's Pink. It's so
Uh-huh.
random. Pink and Keith Urban. It's so fucking good. It's called One Too Many, and it's about getting hammered at the bar and then getting in a fight with your significant other. But it's so like peppy and poppy. Like it always puts me in a good mood. The content, the subject matter makes no sense. But like if I'm feeling like sort of like just in a low state, like low energy, it just like hypes me up and it doesn't make sense. But like for the most part, I have like songs for when I'm feeling sad and I want to get happy, or songs for when I'm feeling angry and I want to just feel neutral. Like I have like where am I and where do I want to be, like different sets of songs for that. And it's for me the lyrics don't necessarily matter as much as this the vibe, I guess.
Okay.
Um
That makes sense.
which is probably why I don't get so caught up in the lyrics or the artist, what we were talking about before, because
Mhm.
it's for me it's just the vibe and the mood that matter.
So, do you make playlists? Because I don't. I think I
Sort
need to.
of. I think that Spotify, so I sort of make playlists, but they're more so in my head, which is probably like the most inefficient way to listen to music in 2024. Like I could use Spotify playlists, and there's literally no reason that I don't. I have like one Spotify playlist maybe, but in my head, like I'll listen to a song and then another one will pop up, and I'm like, oh, that's what I'm gonna put on the queue. So I
Okay.
just like queue up songs based on like how I'm feeling.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah.
because Spotify tries to guess what I want to listen to next, and it always fucks it up. So it's just easier if I just like roll with it.
Fair enough. Yeah. I don't think I've ever made an official playlist. I'm more of I'm a YouTube person, so I'll go into YouTube and like I'll just put in a song that I want to hear. And
Hmm.
it may be a popular song or maybe a song that I've been thinking about for the last 3 days, and I just figure, hey, let
Right.
me just go pop this song in, um,
Right.
and then I'll put in another song that I want to hear. And
Right.
YouTube, their algorithm is all right. They'll start playing
Yeah.
similar songs, which okay. But yeah, for the most part, I don't think I've ever made like an actual playlist. I just have songs that I want to hear, and that's what
Hmm.
I like. I search, and then like YouTube saves them.
Right. Yeah. So my issue with YouTube, I like YouTube, but a lot of the times, like you'll have one song where like you can listen to it and you can like minimize the app, but
Mm-hmm.
then it'll go to the next song, and like if you like close the app, it turns the song off, and it drives me nuts.
Yeah,
Like I like that Spotify can be on in the background because I'm like a crazy phone addict, so I need to be able to like not be on the app while I'm listening.
yeah. YouTube is it's weird because every now and then on my phone, YouTube will like play in the background, but I always feel this by accident.
Yeah, it's like it's not consistent.
Yeah, it's like oh
I think
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Like I
If you
just
play
I
the
like
official music video, it'll work. But if it's like
mm-hmm.
a random like lyric video that some Joe Schmo made like 10 years after it was released, like it's not gonna work.
Yeah, it's very weird. YouTube needs to fix that.
Wow. This is a good conversation.
I think so. All right. I'm sure folks want to know favorite artist
Favorite artist?
or
We really
artists
can't artist. You can't
or
guess right now.
singular plural. So Grateful Dead is a favorite artist
At the moment, yeah.
at the moment.
It'll probably change in like 3 months when I have officially exhausted myself, but we're not there yet. What
Fair
about
enough.
you?
Uh, I used to have a favorite artist
It's
of
hard sometimes when you're
of
in between.
no, like I used to have a favorite artist of the moment, kind of
Oh, okay.
like you. Um, but I realized that this moment has lasted for like a good 15 years. So
Oh, wow.
uh, I think my yeah. So I'm going to have to go with a gentleman by the name of Eric Roberson. Shout out
Okay.
to you, Eric. I love his music. Um, I I am such a fan of this man that I have gone to his concerts 7 times.
Wow. 7 or 70?
I wish it was 70. Seven.
Nice.
it'll probably
That's
it'll
awesome.
probably it'll probably be 70 by the time I'm done if he's around
Okay.
that long.
Love it.
Yeah, but I'm a fan of his music. I've been a fan really since college. So like
Okay.
we're looking at like 20 years now of me being a fan. Probably a
Wow.
good 10 of him being my favorite artist.
Okay.
It used to be Boys and Men, but I feel like that's kind of what you were supposed to say during that time that Boys and Men was popular.
Okay. Right.
Um, I think I think maturity is realizing that Jodeci is a better group.
Okay.
Um,
I love it.
yeah, but once again, I digress. Eric Eric Roberson is definitely my favorite artist, not just of the moment, but of any moment right now. So yes.
Oh, I love that. I like I should be clear, like I've loved the Dead for a long time, but like this is like an unhealthy I'm in the unhealthy obsession phase. It'll taper off and I'll find a new artist to have an unhealthy obsession with. Probably one from like my repertoire. So like in the past, it really is like based on the season of my life. So like leading up to my wedding and like for a while after, Tom Petty and Van Morrison, I couldn't get enough of. Why? Because every song that played at my wedding was Tom Petty or Van Morrison. I don't know which came first, the chicken or the egg. Like, did I fall in love with them first, or did they become my wedding music first? I don't know. Um, but I have like unhealthy phases that last like probably a year or two, and then I just like get really into another one. Like U2 was a big one for a while. Ed Sheeran was one for a while. See, I'm all over the place.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you because I have I guess my second tier of favorite artists, and
Yeah.
yeah, I'm there. I'm right there with you. Like it's this second tier is my favorite
Hmm.
artist today. Um, type
Okay.
type thing. So yeah, that
Right.
definitely gets a lot of rotation because like I said, um I'm in my Victoria Monet phase, and that'll
Oh,
last
I love it.
however long it lasts. Um, Prior to her, again, it was Jodeci. I listened to her
Hmm.
songs for a while. So I'm curious to see kind of what comes up next. It's interesting because one is a more old school R&B group, and the other one is
Hmm.
someone who's more contemporary.
Okay.
She's really starting to blow up now. So
Oh,
me
that's so
personally,
cool.
yeah, like me personally, I like seeing okay, who am I kind of going to go with next? Someone old, someone new. I don't know.
Right, and there's really no, at least for me, I'm curious how it is for you, but there's no rhyme or reason for it. It like makes no sense. I just like one day will be like, I'm obsessed with this artist, and everyone's like, since when? I'm like, since today.
Yeah,
Just
that's how it
happened. It's
is.
new. Yeah.
That's how it is, and it don't take much. Like I said, it can just be a tight beat, and now I want to hear everything this artist makes, or maybe it's just a song that I just happen to remember from my childhood. I don't know.
Exactly.
I don't know. Hey, it is what it is. I don't make the rules. I just work here.
Exactly. I love that. That needs to be on a t-shirt.
It will. It's coming soon. Don't worry.
Love it. Oh my god, I can't believe we just spent an hour. Actually, I totally can believe we spent an hour talking about music because I think we could probably do this forever.
Yes.
But your girl's getting hungry. Per usual.
Very good.
So I guess we should wrap it up and say that if you guys loved this episode, be sure to rate it, review it, share it with a friend, follow us on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, wherever you get your podcasts, and don't forget to leave us a 5-star review and I always do that, 5-star rating and a review if you love the episode, and be sure to stay tuned for next week's episode, which is coming out next Tuesday.
Yep. Thank you, folks. As always, stay introverted, and we'll catch you later.
See ya. Bye.